Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre. Hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us at YouTube and Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our website, terrorintandem.com.
Yes, that's us.
Welcome.
That's who we are.
Welcome, terror heads.
Terabytes.
Tandabytes? Terabytes?
Yeah, terror bites.
Nice. That's what they are.
Yeah.
The Tea Hive.
Instead of like terabytes.
Right. As in data.
Yeah.
Got it. The
There
cloud.
are horror heads.
The cloud.
You could be called horror heads if you want. I kind of like that.
Whoreheads? Jorge's?
Hola and Jorge.
Yay. Feliz Navidad, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy December. Happy cold.
We got lots of things planned for this
COVID
December.
flare-ups. What? 'Tis the season.
This December, I said.
Ooh.
Have you heard? This December, we have lots of things planned. We're going to do our hits and misses episode that you love, and our end of the year wrap up. And we're going to do a remake, and we're also going to do in this episode, which we're recording right now, which is happening now.
This is real.
December recommendations.
That's right. It's been a long December, and there's reason to believe that maybe this one will be the last we ever have. So I am looking forward to kind of a quiet December, but that doesn't mean there isn't stuff to consume. Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah.
Piggies.
Absolutely. And we have a whole bunch of things to recommend.
Before we do, how you doing?
Oh, just wonderful.
Yeah?
Just coming off of the
Because we don't speak in between these
Thanksgiving
episodes.
holiday.
Yeah.
You know, I spent it with you.
Oh, I remember that because I was there.
Yeah.
I,
Did some volunteering, did some general cheering.
I passed out real hard post food.
Like every day
Yeah.
that you
I
didn't work.
That's not untrue.
But it's been busy, and I don't know. Tonight we're going to make bao and ramen.
Yeah. Excited about that. Also,
going to a cooking class. Terror in Tandem is on the road.
We've put up our Krampusnacht decorations. We're very excited.
I just saw a video from the Krampus Festival, and I
in
cannot
Austria?
reiterate how much I really want to go.
Same. And then every year there's always like some like evangelical Christian will freak out about Satan worship and post it, and that's always fun too.
Now more than ever, I want to go to Austria and celebrate with the Krampus Fest.
Yeah. Krampusnacht.
It
totally,
happens at the beginning of, like, at the end of November, beginning of December. So
it's a very normal thing that very normal people do. And I would love to do it.
I mean, it looks so ancient.
It looks rad.
I
Yeah,
know.
No, absolutely.
Like, amazing. And
Like,
all the kids, they have their kids
Yeah.
scared out of their minds.
You might end the evening dressed as a bear inside a burning A-frame. Yeah, that could happen.
You know, the A24 store is selling, they sell.
They have
things.
great merch.
Did you see the
Terror in Tandem brought to you by A24.
Did you see the incense holder?
The Talk to Me hand?
No.
There's one that's shaped like a Talk to Me hand.
It's from Midsommar, the yellow
The A-frame?
The A-frame.
Yeah.
And you put the incense in, and you put the A-frame on top of it. Yeah.
I
And
love
it's like an
that.
incense.
Yeah.
Like the canocular incense.
I want an ashtray that's just Will Poulter blood eagled.
I guess there's also a May Queen treetop.
They do have cool merch there. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of A24.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by, but wouldn't mind being.
Am I even? I don't think I'm recommending any, but we did just see Heretic, folks, and that was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Damn, Hugh Grant, keep doing this.
Oh, I know.
He was
I
awesome.
love Hugh Grant.
I do too. But
Richard's favorite Hugh Grant is different than my favorite Hugh Grant, though.
My favorite is now Heretic. Oh, the time he got caught in the Bronx getting a BJ.
Or Paddington.
Paddington too. Yeah.
You loved him as the evil.
I know. So good.
Villain in Paddington too.
So good.
A little known secret about my co-host. His favorite movies range from The Witch to what's that one?
You're doing the Donald Trump jerk-off dance.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm doing the Toni Collette
Hereditary.
slicing her neck off.
Yeah.
Hereditary. So those are like his tops, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we go to Paddington and Paddington 2.
Absolutely. Listen, I hail Satan and snuggle down. That's just, I'm an adorable, evil little scamp.
Yeah.
Not everything that is evil is necessarily evil the way you think it is. You know what I mean? Like little demons and goblins. Maybe they're just a little misunderstood.
Well, that's what everybody is loving Wicked for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, folks, you can't go out and sing Wicked and ruin the movie for other people and then turn around and say that evil things don't deserve love, like ghouls and gremlins. Not everything is, just wearing green paint. Like, sometimes evil things are a little uglier than Cynthia Erivo, who is gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And has a gorgeous voice.
Like,
and
all I'm saying is not all evil things are as pretty as Cynthia Erivo in the problematic green face.
The issue really is when you
Gumby
originally watched The Wizard of Oz, nobody took into account the Wicked verse.
Alphaba. Anyway, don't sing in the
Elphaba.
theaters. It makes you weird. It's
Unless
creepy,
it's a sing-along.
and unless it's advertised as a sing-along. But no, just because a movie came out doesn't mean you're entitled to own it.
So let's start with our recommendations.
Love it. I'm going to go first, and I'm just going to start with... I've got a couple fun ones, and then I've got the one that I'm really looking forward to, like the most. The one that I've been looking forward to the most out of all year. But I'm going to end with that. I'm going to start with Werewolves. Ooh.
Silly.
Directed by Stephen C. Miller.
Is this the one with...
Not Stephen Miller. Stephen C. Miller. A Stephen Miller, I am pretty sure, put the C in his DGA title because smart move, honestly.
Yeah.
Want to differentiate. So that's coming out in theaters on December 6th. That is Werewolves. December 6th in theaters. So here's the gist, everybody. The original title of this was Year 2, which I actually kind of really dig. But I guess, in case the public was wondering what the movie was about, they just wanted to make it really clear. It's werewolves. So,
like Pussy Island.
Yes, exactly.
Was changed.
When the movie itself is actually about people who blink more than once, but not more than 3 times. So, now werewolves. So a year ago, in the world of werewolves, a supermoon triggered a latent lycanthropic gene in the human DNA.
Inside you like shingles?
Pretty much, yeah. And all it took was a supermoon, and millions of people turned into werewolves.
They should have called it the Shadow of Shingles.
Anyway. No, they shouldn't. So
no, come on. You'd love that.
It's good, but not for this. So I am Cabin Fever 2, The Shadow of Shingles. So in Werewolves...
T's and P's to those who have shingles.
A year ago...
That's thoughts and prayers.
Lots of people turned into werewolves and killed other people. And now it's a year later, and they're preparing for another supermoon.
Oh, boy.
So it's got Lou Diamond Phillips and Frank Grillo and Katrina Law, 2 tough guys and a badass lady.
So this isn't the one with Julia Garner?
No, that is The Wolfman.
Oh.
And that's coming out next year.
And then there was another one.
Listen, werewolves are having a real day. They got Night Bitch.
Lake and Sounds.
Yeah. Nice. So anyway, werewolves. A year ago, they all turned into werewolves. It's a year later. It's happening again. Frank Grillo plays a tough guy that has to shoot things on his way to saving his family or the city or
Do you want to share where we might have seen Frank Grillo?
Frank Grillo's great. He was Crossbones.
Yeah, but not everybody knows
he was
who
Crossbones
he is.
in the MCU. He was in Captain America: Civil War and those movies. And he's
he's been in the Purge movies.
Yeah, like lots of action
and Prison Break.
Cool movies. And he's gonna be in another one of my recommendations, honestly. So Frank Grillo, yeah, he's punch kicking his way through a werewolf city, and Lou Diamond Phillips looks like a mayor or president. Anyway, look, this is exactly the movie you think it is. Stephen C. Miller has made a bit of a career directing kind of like straight to DVD action movies with like stars who are a little bit past their prime, like Stallone and Bruce Willis and John Cusack, but like later, So it's gonna be like a grindy pulp kind of silly movie, and looks like a fun watch. So yeah, werewolves. out in theaters December 6th. You
He
want to
did
see
that Silent Night movie of several
the
years
remake
ago.
of Silent Night in 2012.
Yeah.
It was Steven C. Miller. But he's done a lot of action movies since then. He's returning to horror. He got to start doing horror with a real low budget movie called, I think it was like Automaton Infection or something. It was like a cool name. But anyway, this one looks like a lot of fun. I really like Frank Grillo. Katrina Law's been in Arrow. That's mostly where I know her from. And Lou Diamond Phillips is always pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah. So
he really does play a lawman a lot.
this movie has all the elements to be like a really fun B ride. And why not? You know, take some edibles and drink some eggnog and watch werewolves. Yay.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't know. It's seasonal.
My first recommendation also comes out on the 6th.
What?
Yeah, it's called Getaway.
werewolves?
And it's written by and starring Nick Frost. Yes, you've heard it.
Having
here.
a lot of horror movies
He is.
this year.
He was in Black Cab that I recommended last month, and this month he's in Getaway. It's also starring Ainsley B. And if you don't know who she is, you should really find out. She is hilarious. She's an Irish comedian and writer, an actress, and she's been in some funny stuff, most notably a TV show called This Way Up. She is really fucking funny. And I think something written by Nick Frost, starring himself and Ainsley B, is going to be hilarious.
Sounds like you've got a real Aisling bee in your bonnet.
I mean, if anything, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
It's a horror comedy, obviously. As I said, it's going to be funny, and this is a horror podcast, so that's what we're recommending. It's about a family that take a vacation to the remote island of Svelta.
Okay.
There's a local festival there that's being set up. When they arrive, they're encountering lots of hostiles. So I guess there's a whole thing
Hostiles?
where
Like,
the Brits and the Swedes really hate each other.
oh, I mean, listen, everybody hates the Brits.
So this is a Brit family going to a Swedish island, and they're not being well received.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like a little Wicker Man
Yeah.
style? Yeah.
There was definitely a nod to Wicker Man.
Nice. I love that.
And
Little folk
also,
horror comedy.
well, because of the cult in the other Nick Frost movie, Hot Fuzz, you know?
Yeah. Edgar
Had
Wright.
the cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, they find out a serial killer is on the loose on this island that they're now trapped on. It's going to be funny. It's going to be silly. Again, similar to werewolves, I think it's just going to be like pop an edible, pop a nog, and watch and have fun.
Listen, we're popping nogs over here at Christmas Central.
I also think that this is something that if you're home for the holidays or visiting family for the holidays, this would be a great movie to go with your family to see, because it's probably stupid and silly and harmless and
Nick Frost is
apolitical.
always good for a laugh. Yes, that.
Yeah.
There is that.
I mean, it's the politics of the Brits and the Swedes not getting along. I mean,
yeah, it's I like that kind of low stakes white people racism where it's like the Swedes and the Danish don't get along. It's like,
yeah.
okay,
You're coming to our island.
you
Yet
understand
another
that
island.
outside of your part of the world, that you are indistinguishable from each other.
So check it out. Getaway 12/6.
Nice. So my next one is another fun recommendation, but I am legit really looking forward to this one. It's Creature Commandos, also coming out straight to streaming on what is it called? It's Max. Yes, of course, it's on Max. That
HBO.
storied. I don't know what that is. So it's on Max, and it is coming out December 5th. So Creature Commandos, few things here. It's an R-rated animated horror action comedy. It's it's also kicking off the new DC universe, spearheaded by James Gunn.
Say more words that make me not want to see it.
Okay. So I'm really looking forward to the new DC. I really was not a fan of the Zack Snyder interpretation of DC.
Darkiverse.
Yeah, I love DC Comics. I'm much more of a DC fan than Marvel, but I just didn't like the darkness, the Superman that scowls and snaps people's necks.
Have they ever done DC right?
Yeah, Christopher Reeve. Those Superman movies were amazing.
But that's the only iteration really on screen.
Linda Carter Wonder Woman was great.
The TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. From way back in the day.
They've
But
done,
since then...
there hasn't been a connected universe that's gone well. And James Gunn is a filmmaker I really, really like. I especially like his darker turns, like when he did Slither, especially, and wrote Dawn of the Dead. Now, this one I'm counting in the horror category because it is an R-rated animated show. It's going to be pretty gory. And the cast is made up of monsters. It's like Bride of Frankenstein, The Monster, Dr. Phosphorus. So it's just, long story short, it's the Suicide Squad with monsters. So Viola Davis returns as Amanda Waller. Frank Grillo's in it as Rick Flag Sr.
Frank Grillo again?
Again.
Wow. Everyone now knows who Frank Grillo is.
It's got a great voice cast. It's got Maria Bakalova, Alan Tudyk, Sean Gunn, David Harbour, and Indira Varma. So it's going to be, really irreverent, fun, violent, and James Gunn classic is probably going to be really sad. It kicks off the new DCU, which then follows up, with Superman and Peacemaker and Green Lantern and all the cool stuff that's coming out. I'm really looking forward to the new DC because James Gunn has said like he's really modeling it after the the hope and optimism of like Superman and the DC comics that I thought was really missing from the Zack Snyder movies. Like, yeah. So Creature Commandos, I love adult animation. Like I when I was growing up, watching Spawn on HBO was a game changer for me. I'm really a big fan of the Harley Quinn show, and this looks like another fun, kind of goofy, violent animated comedy. I'm really looking forward to it. And also, I love these characters in the DC comics. Like Grant Morrison's run on Seven Soldiers of Victory with Frankenstein's monster was amazing, and I'm getting a little deep into the weeds here. But Creature Commandos!
I also loved Harley Quinn TV show.
You did?
JB Smoove,
as the plant. Yeah, amazing. And Kite Man, of course.
Yeah. And Ron Funches, right?
Yeah, he was
Shark.
King Shark.
King Shark.
Yeah.
He's got a real fun voice.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy.
Well, why don't we take a quick break?
Let's do it.
It's that time again. Time for the return of your favorite everyman. Time for the return of Brian. The chameleon of chaos is back and ready for all the kinky, clinky, and terrifyingly mundane tasks you need him to take care of. After being swept away by local law enforcement on sealed charges, Brian has returned to a neighborhood near you. And while he doesn't need to notify his neighbors of his residential status, he will sidle up to anyone that has a side. That is only one of the many alarming traits that Brian has to offer. Surprise and lack of boundaries are his specialties. 'Cause aren't we all feeling a little lonely these days? Need an escort to the mailbox? Brian is there. Want someone to water your plants when you're out of town? Brian will do it. Need to dispose of a body? As long as the body doesn't belong to Brian, he's the man for the job. No need to ask twice, or even once. Brian will do the things that need doing, whether you want him to or not. Just turn around and you will see him. Brian has never been so close. This is a fake ad for a fake product and a horror-themed podcast. According to the documents we have been provided, Brian has served his time. We do not condone nor endorse what Brian does that might or may not be immoral or illegal.
Ooh.
Well, I think we could use some emotional optimism based on your DC assessment.
Yeah, I do. I also think that.
So if the next 4 years could be filled with maybe some James Gunn.
Oh, listen, there are still things to look forward to in this world. And
we're trying here.
Yeah, I'm putting my blinders on and just plowing forward. Good
We're
luck,
trying
everybody.
to give you some things to look forward to.
You wanted this.
Well, my next recommendation is something that you would probably think Richard would recommend, but I'm recommending it because he's not actually Danish, but this film is.
Fucked up.
So it's called The Girl with the Needle, and it comes out on December 6th.
Or in Danish,
That's the most fun part of it, is the title. It is a Danish language film. It's written and directed by Magnus von Horn.
Damn.
Great name.
Damn, Magnus. Save some cool names for the rest of us.
It takes place in Copenhagen in 1919, post World War One.
Ooh, I like it already.
A young seamstress is basically trying to figure her shit out when her husband goes MIA from the military.
Uh-oh.
And she has this like connection with her boss, Jorgen. And he's the owner of the factory where she seams her stresses. But she gets pregnant. Or I like how they, not in this film, but the term, old school term, fallen pregnant.
Oh, yes.
She's fallen pregnant.
Afflicted with child.
And it really has a social commentary here about the time.
Yeah.
And how women who get pregnant, not by their husbands, are treated.
Yeah.
And so she becomes destitute, loses her job, obviously.
You know who was another woman who got pregnant not by her husband? Yeah. Mary.
Yeah.
Mother of God, people. Ashamed yet? You should be.
So she gets desperate and she decides to become a wet nurse, finds this woman she works for who runs an underground adoption agency hidden behind a candy store.
Wow. There's a lot going on in that sentence.
Well, what's interesting is this is loosely based on
I like that when you said wet nurse, you broke it up into two words, like wet nurse, because my brain caught up on that part.
This is loosely based on a true story from Denmark of a Danish serial killer named Dagmar Overby.
Jeez.
And Dagmar Overby ran a secret adoption, quote unquote, adoption agency. But babies were not adopted.
No. It doesn't sound like it worked out very
basically a child farm.
Yikes.
So this is what this 12/6 movie, Happy Christmas Time, is about.
Yay.
It premiered at the Cannes Film Festival to really good praise. It's being dubbed as a dark fairy tale.
Those are my favorite kind.
Yeah. So I think it looks really interesting. It is black and white.
Oh.
Which is a little theme of this month, I think.
That kind of reminds me of like if anyone's ever seen Haxen, the old Theodor Dreiser black and white Danish film. I mean, there's a tradition of black and white Danish horror that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, my first two are serial killer recommendations.
Oh, no, Vampire. Sorry, it wasn't Haxen. But Haxen's a different movie, but Vampire was the movie I was thinking of.
Are you thinking Hacksaw Ridge?
No, Haxen is a different Danish movie, but I was thinking specifically in my example of Vampire with a Y.
Oh, Wampir.
Wampir.
I think what's really going to be interesting is post-war women being treated a certain way.
I mean, that's one of the darkest times of humanity post World War I. It was a devastating, grinding war. It killed like tens of millions of people, and then there was the Russian Revolution, and then the influenza pandemic. I mean, it was
a mess.
Busy time, yeah. And then World War II, like 20 years later. Neat.
So, The Girl with the Needle.
Great job, everybody.
Foreign language film.
Love
black
it.
and white.
Ooh, my last one. This is the one. This is the one I've been looking forward to all year. It's Nosferatu. Obviously, it's Nosferatu. It's Robert Eggers' Nosferatu coming out on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day. Have you heard? So
And somebody has been like, oh, we have to see it on Christmas. We're not seeing it on Christmas.
Oh, we might see it on Christmas.
But we'll see it soon after.
We might see it on Christmas. So coming at you from Robert Eggers, written and directed, the brilliant mind behind The Lighthouse and The Witch, starring Willem Dafoe, Lily Rose Depp, Nicholas Hoult, and Bill Skarsgård.
And don't forget Emma Corrin, who's my wonderful darling.
I shan't. Also Emma Corrin. So it's an automatic watch for me, but I'll get into it anyway. Nosferatu is a classic movie. It's been made twice so far. The first time by F.W. Murnau in 1922. It's Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. This is one of the quintessential silent films and horror movies. starring Max Schreck as Count Orlok. And the reason his name was Count Orlok is because Bram Stoker's widow in 1922 sued them and said, you can't make this movie. It's illegal. So he said, sure, it's not Dracula, it's Orlok. But basically everything is the same. It's an amazing movie. It was remade in 1979 by Werner Herzog with Bruno Ganz, Klaus Kinski as Count Orlok, and Isabella Gianni, and it's magnificent. It's a very different movie. It's a lot more of a commentary on, the bourgeois and capitalism and, plague and what happens when society collapses. And Klaus Kinski is amazing because he's basically a vampire in real life. Now we've got Robert Eggers. So from F.W. Murnau to Werner Herzog to Robert Eggers, it's like this property can only be touched by the creme de la creme of like artistic visionaries. I am very excited. This is it's a beautiful, lush, very like a throwback with modern technology, reminding me of the Lighthouse, which was deliberately shot in a way that made it seem like an old timey film, but it's still very much a beneficiary of modern technology. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's not really much to tell. It's essentially the novel of Dracula with a couple of alterations, but the original is so iconic. I mean, even people who've not seen the movie know the image of the scary, monster rat-looking Count Orlok rising out of the coffin. Anybody who's watched SpongeBob knows him as the night manager of the Krusty Krab, so he's pretty much in the zeitgeist. Lily Rose Depp looks amazing in this. Willem Dafoe as the Van Helsing type. I mean, geez. He's also, I'm really looking forward to him working with Robert Eggers again after The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Those two seem very well made for each other.
Weirdos.
And of course,
Weirdos.
The Northman, I can't forget The Northman. That was incredible.
I love that movie so much.
So really, really looking forward to this. Nosferatu, I have nothing else to say about it. It's been a really good year for horror movies, and I still think this might end up being my favorite. And I haven't even seen it yet.
Well, I know Robert Eggers. You're automatically gonna love it.
I'm gonna try not to be biased.
Lies.
But he would have. I think at this point he would have to work hard to lose me. So check out that trailer, which is black and white.
But the film is in color. You said
it is shot 35 millimeter in color. So, and that's December for me. But I know we've got another one to come.
I do. I have one final recommendation that I don't know how many episodes there'll be.
So we've needled,
6 or
we've
8.
werewolved, we have Nosferatu'd.
And now we're squidding it up.
Oh, shit.
So second season Squid Game comes out on Boxing Day, December 26th.
Oh, pop your crackers and watch some Lee Jun-jae.
Yes. 3 years of waiting.
Oh, really, really long time.
So it better be good.
TV shows need to work on that.
Yeah, I know it took the director 12 years to get this on Netflix. To get it to happen, actually happen.
I remember reading interviews with him after the first season where he was like, yeah, I almost died making this. I had a total mental breakdown.
Listen, the creator, Hwang Dong-hook, I believe that's how you say it. Hwang Dong-hook.
Okay.
He lost 9 teeth.
Yeah.
Because of stress while filming some of these challenging
I was a little
sequences
surprised
for season 2.
When he very quickly announced the season 2. I was like, bro, do you want to maybe go to a spa for a bit?
Yeah, he lost 9 teeth from stress.
A lot of see at tooth number 1, I'd be like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, I guess some of the really challenging to film and direct.
Do you think after he lost 1 tooth, the other ones were easier to lose?
Probably. I mean, I don't know what the state of his dental health.
I didn't know stress could do that to you.
Yeah, I don't know the state of his dental health though.
Pop your fucking teeth out?
Does he go to his 6-month cleanings?
That's the other thing. Yeah, I don't have access to his records yet.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, Squid Game 2, like I said, 3 years of waiting. Lee Jung-jae is back as Song Ji-hun.
He's so good.
Player 456. And
check out The Acolyte.
How we left him at the end of season 1 was he was deciding... He was on his way to see his daughter, reunite with his daughter after winning Squid Game.
He just got that cool haircut.
Well, he dyed his hair red.
Yeah.
And he decides not to see his daughter.
No.
Instead, he decides to go figure out who's behind the games. And so I believe it's in real time. So we're going to catch up with him 3 years later after he's been pursuing the makers of the game, and he asks to be put back in the game. And so he is put back in the games. New games, classic games, lots of death, lots of mystery. And there's going to be a third and final season, the director and creator said.
Yeah,
So it's going to wrap it all up in the third season, but
I'm sure
we don't know if Song Ji-hun is going to survive this one.
I mean, the director, they did have to make the first season in the midst of lockdown.
Yes.
Which was extremely difficult. And you can see it on the edges of the show a little bit, where there are some scenes where you're like, okay, none of these people were in the same room with each other. And not having to deal with that. Also, it's a bona fide sensation at this point.
Yeah.
So there is that. And, you know.
And I think that it's going to turn, I don't think we're going to see the culmination of the games in the same way. I think there's going to be an uprising.
Yeah, I mean, the first season...
If you look at the trailer.
The first season was very much like you were captive. You had to go along with it. But now he's free and he's got some agency. It's interesting to see I can't wait, honestly. Lee Jun-jae is so captivating. He's had such an incredible career turn in the last few years from like... You know, he used to be like a real like heartthrob kind of in a lot of Korean romances, and now he's done a few villainous turns. He's done some thrillers and action. And he was in Star Wars. It's really cool. I'm excited.
I think what would be really interesting if his daughter was eventually a contestant in season 3. I don't know if she's going to be in season 2,
Nikes,
but
yeah.
I don't know. Huang, if you've already decided on the full fleshing out of season 3, but if you're listening, because I know you are, 9 teeth less.
What is the what's
maybe
the Korean
put his
word?
Daughter in it.
It's the Korean word for taken, because that, I mean, you have a little taken element of it.
Or just present her with a card in a way where you want to save your father.
I have a particular set of skills.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Brr.
But I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be really fun to kind of close out the end of the year with.
Squid Games. Yay.
Season 2.
Season 2. Well, is
That's
that
it?
Oh, December, you know, it's chilly and we've all got...
very cold.
We've got some plans for holidays and eating things and opening things and giving things and receiving things, and also stuffing your silly little brains full of good, gory horror.
Yeah, and we hope that you have a healthy and safe one out there.
Yeah.
Keep listening, share.
Remember,
and
psychopaths are best enjoyed on screen and in books.
We're going to do our best to continue this pod as long as you all keep downloading our episodes.
Keep sending us the vials of blood from your firstborns, and we will continue to make the sacrifices necessary to do this pod.
If you don't, then I probably will have to become a wet nurse. Bye, everyone.
Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Hispanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're standing right behind you.